Antarctica is a continent that the world knows very little about, which is why scientists from all over the globe have been working there to find new things about the place. Here are recent discoveries in Antarctica that scientists are frightened by. An oval shape that looks bizarre. Antarctica is still one of the mysteries of the world, with very less information about it. But thanks to the improvements in technology, we find out new things every now and again. The oval shape was discovered through a satellite, and scientists were puzzled at the shape and size of the image. The oval shape was 400 feet long, and after doing a lot of analysis, scientists initially came to the conclusion that the oval was man-made. The lines looked like wall of compounds specifically designed, but this made no sense as there was no human life found in the vast frozen desert of East Antarctica. To give you more context about the place this shape was found in, the eastern side of Antarctica is the coldest, driest, and windiest area in the whole continent, which is why calling it artificial made little to no sense. Scientists tried looking for other answers and suggested theories that the ice froze in that manner due to how the wind moves, especially ones that are found on the top of the mountain and plateaus. During the nighttime, the plateaus became very hot and dry, making the wind denser, which meant that it could break through any landmass. However, the lines formed by the wind are said to be wavy, which was the only puzzle left in this theory. We see both theories very plausible, but if there is a human race that can live in that environment, it's something everyone should worry about. Before we get into more details about recent discoveries in Antarctica that scientists are frightened by, if you're liking our content so far, then make sure to give this video a big thumbs up. A world underwater? We've read a lot of fictional stories about there being a world underwater, some of which even you might remember, like the story of Atlantis. Well, according to scientists, these stories aren't all false. The world was left in shock when scientists announced that they had discovered a world deep under the ice of Antarctica, and to most people's surprise, it was flourishing. Even the scientists who found the underwater ecosystem were reported to have goosebumps because they had never seen anything like this. The aquatic ecosystem was discovered to be 1,600 feet under moving ice on the eastern coast of Antarctica. The first evidence of this was found through satellite images, which found a groove where the land and water meet. This groove was caused by a subsurface river. On drilling the hole in the ice using the hot water hose, the ecosystem was found. Initially, when the crew found something moving, they thought something was wrong with their equipment, but upon further focusing, they realized that amphipods were the creatures that were seen moving near the camera. You might not find this very amusing, but this finding showed the world that there was actually life under the ice of Antarctica. Moreover, there could be multiple other lakes, rivers, and bodies of water under the whole mass of land that could be hosting different ecosystems of their own. While on their expedition underwater, scientists also discovered a few other things that blew away their minds. First, they found that after about 1,800 feet deep in the ice, there was water flowing in different directions and following different currents. Other than that, the volcano that erupted on the continent far away from this underwater ecosystem had an impact on it. This shows that the whole world is interlinked and connected, and one natural disaster in one area can have a lasting effect on areas far away. A massive hole. When scientists saw a huge hole in the middle of Antarctica, they were left in shock at the sheer size of it. Normally, finding holes is no big deal, even for scientists who work in Antarctica and dig them frequently. But this one wasn't normal. Not only was it big, but its location also raised a lot of questions in the minds of NASA scientists. To give you more context, the size of the hole was 19.8 acres. Since this was the second time such a hole had appeared in 2 years, it caught the attention of the research team present on the continent. It was later revealed that this phenomenon is called a polynya, which means a stretch of open water surrounded by sea. It was later revealed that this phenomenon is called a polynya, which means a stretch of open water surrounded by sea. The last time one was seen was in the 1970s, and that polynya was bigger than the current one. According to the explanation given by scientists, this only happens when salty hot water rises to the surface, melting the ice around it and giving the ocean access to hot water. But the strange thing about this hole being formed over Antarctica was that it happened twice in 2 years after not showing for such a long time. Scientists were looking for answers as to why the hot water came to the surface in this manner. Is there something humans should be afraid of? Unfortunately, since humans cannot easily reach the depths of the ocean, it will take some time before we can get some answers. However, scientists have sent machines down into the holes to further study the phenomenon. Combined with satellite imagery and robots, scientists are hopeful that more answers will be found soon. Microorganisms that eat wood and oil. If you didn't know before that Antarctica had its fair share of microorganisms, you'd be surprised to know that different species of microorganisms do in fact live on the continent. During a visit to Antarctica, a pathologist from the USA came across 3 species of fungus eating on hidden treasures in the land of ice. He found these 3 species eating huts built by the British in the 90s when they came to explore the continent. In today's world, these are the last clues of the first time humanity went out exploring. The huts have a lot of history attached to them, as the explorers left behind quite a lot of stuff. Some of you might be wondering why the findings of fungi are so shocking. Well, fungi prefer warmer environments, and never before have there been any fungal attacks seen in Antarctica. Upon doing research, scientists were shocked at the mere strength of these 3 species, as they were so strong they could even hold off the cold. One final great discovery that scientists found was that one of the fungi was eating petroleum from the barrels of oil that the English voyagers had brought with them. This discovery could be hopeful for humans, as these fungi could be released into the sea after an oil spill to prevent too much damage to the ocean. But the question still remains, where did these fungi come from? Are they native to the land, or did the British bring them? And if so, did these fungi evolve so much that they could survive in such cold temperatures? Whatever the answer to the question is, it can either be really good for humans or really bad. Home to both lava and ice? Everyone who knows even a little about the continent knows that it's filled with ice and has temperatures way below the freezing point. But what if we told you that ice isn't the only thing on the continent? Scientists working in the area discovered something very different, something they wouldn't normally expect. They came across mountains that showed signs of lava coming out of them. It was later discovered that Antarctica is also home to lava lakes. Now you might be wondering, what's so special about having lava lakes? Well, there are only 9 lava lakes in the world, and Antarctica is the last place you would expect one to be found. According to sources, the lake is on Saunders Island in the southern region of the continent. It's covered by an icy crack, also known as Mount Michael. Mount Michael is the tallest volcanic mountain in the area and was discovered through thermal imaging. The most amazing thing about this lake is that its temperature reaches over 2,300 degrees Fahrenheit. Moreover, unlike many lava lakes around the globe, this lake is still molten in nature. If you can think of any more interesting facts about Antarctica that scientists should be aware of,